The Republicans lose big time, bigly, as someone would say, on the issue of health care. They tried their own version of health care legislation, and obviously it didn't work. It was a giant failure. The guy who did the art of the deal couldn't get a deal done. And they fought each other. They formed basically a circular firing squad, and now they're all blaming one another. So this presents a great opportunity for the Democrats. So you could put together an even stronger version of Obamacare and fight for it. Or you can say, hey, we can fix Obamacare by, for example, doing a public option. Now, I think I have a slightly better idea, as do a lot of other progressives. But first, let me go to the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. That's Chuck Schumer. That's his technical position. He says about Trump, but that he could work with the Democrats, but he's gonna have to tell the Freedom Caucus and the hard-right special wealthy interests who are dominating his presidency, he can't work with them, and will certainly look at his proposals. Now, not exactly how I would have framed it. I don't want to get too overly critical on that. It's basically Schumer gloating, and he doesn't really intend to work with him. And he's trying to appear to be reaching out. I think there's really no need for that. And I wouldn't say that I would look at his proposals. I would say he should now look at our proposals. Now, that's exactly the direction that Bernie Sanders went in, so let's hear him out.
We have got to have the guts to take on the insurance companies and the drug companies and move forward toward a Medicare for all, a single payer program. And I'll be introducing legislation shortly to do that.
Hey, perfect idea. Why not do it now? Now, of course, a lot of times when the mainstream media talks about this, they make it seem like, well, that sounds like a radical proposal, Bernie, Medicare for all. So are the American people really going to be interested in the government takeover, as the Republicans would call it, of healthcare? Well, I'm gonna get back to that in a second, because you might be surprised at the numbers. But Bernie's not alone. Now, here's Keith Ellison, now the deputy chair of the DNC, saying something similar.
We are in a position, if we can fight these people back, not just to get back to the status quo, but to create a whole new reality. Don't just be satisfied with defeating Trump care. Set your sights on creating real Medicare for all. Don't just set your sights on beating this nasty piece of legislation down. Think about what America could be like if you could do something simple like just go to the doctor.
Now, he is one of the co-sponsors of a bill in the House that is for Medicare for all. John Conyers, a very progressive congressman, proposed that. There are 72 Democrats that are already on board for supporting that. Well, that's pretty good. But that also means there's 121 Democrats in the House who haven't said a word about it. What are you waiting for? And well, I know Democrats in general. I don't know. I mean, what if they attack us? What if they are opposed to us? Yeah, they make their case, you make your case. I know that's a radical thought for a Democrat. In the Senate, it used to be Bernie Sanders alone. Now, all of a sudden, a little bit of pickup. Elizabeth Warren indicating she's going to go in that direction. Both of the senators from Rhode Island saying that they're going to head in that direction. Now, look, Rhode Island is one of the most liberal states there are. The fact that the two Democratic senators from Rhode Island are headed in that direction is like big news. But really, that's where we are? But okay, I'll take the momentum. I'll take the progress. And then I want to go to Jeff Merkley. Now, he's the only senator that actually endorsed Bernie Sanders during the primaries. And he says, look, there are plenty of ideas already on the table that would make healthcare more affordable for working families, from a public option to prescription drug negotiations to offering older Americans the chance to buy into Medicare. I'm happy to work with anyone from either side of the aisle to explore these or any other ideas that would improve healthcare for working Americans. Okay, good progress, lots of good ideas in there. You know, I fought for the public option. I think that's definitely the right way to go. Donald Trump is the guy who said that he would protect Medicare. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if he expanded Medicare? Now, his version of the bill actually would have cut Medicaid by $800 billion, although he said he wasn't going to cut it at all. So look, Donald, that's an opportunity for you to actually be true to your word. Donald Trump said that he would negotiate prescription drug prices. But when they were doing the actual healthcare legislation, it did not say anything about that, and Donald Trump never mentioned it. What happened, Donald? Here's some of the most progressive senators in the country giving you an opportunity to deliver at least on some of your agenda that the Republicans wouldn't give you. Now, are you actually going to do that? Or were you lying day in, day out during the campaign? See, number one, you're fighting for the right position if you're a progressive going in this direction. Number two, you put Donald Trump in a tough spot, and you keep using his own words that he was in favor of these proposals, yet he hasn't done any of them. And he, of course, Donald Trump cried about how the Democrats didn't help him when he was trying to destroy the Democratic version of healthcare. I mean, what a preposterous statement. Then I saw cable news had the temerity to debate that. What are we're debating? Oh, I was trying to kill your guy's healthcare plan. Why didn't you help me kill it? Let's debate whether that makes sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. But nonetheless, here is progressives reaching out, not in a futile, ridiculous, so-called centrist way, but in a constructive way to get the results people want. And now there's all sorts of progressive groups that are on board as well, including, and non-progressive too, people that are just looking out for older Americans, for workers, etc. Social Security Works Executive Director Alex Lawson said, look, we can start by lowering the age to 62 and then get it down to 0. So Medicare is one of the most popular policies in America. In fact, it's the second most popular right after Social Security. So if it's so popular for people above the age of 65, could it also be popular if you're a 64-year-old, or wow, if you're a 62-year-old? And why not if you're a 58-year-old? Of course it makes sense, that's why people like it. Now you're gonna say, whoa, Jake. You like it, your progressive buddies like it, but I hear all over Morning Joe that the American people are very center-right, and they don't like these government takeovers or anything. Expanding Medicare for all, no. I hear on TV all the time that people wouldn't be in favor of that if they ever talk about it. Okay, so let's actually go to the American people, and polling will tell us which direction they're going. Well, the Kaiser Family Foundation did a poll, and they found out nearly 2/3, 64% of Americans say they have a positive reaction to the term Medicare for all. What happened? I thought you guys said Medicare for all wouldn't work. You know what 64% is? That's a gigantic victory. That's not 51%, 55%, 64, 2/3, nearly 2/3 saying we're for Medicare for all. How is that a difficult position for the Democrats to get behind? We're gonna get to your help on that in a second. But if you're saying, well, look, they say that it's positive and whether you're using Medicare for all, but what if you used the terms that Republicans will use? Because the Democrats, they love being scared. I'm gonna just soften it just a tad, right? The establishment Democrats are like, but the Republicans will run ads against us using other words. Oh, really? And how about if you run ads against them? Or you give press conferences? You know, you're allowed to talk too. How about you insist that Medicare is one of the most popular programs, because it is? How about you insist on Medicare for all, because nearly 2/3 of Americans are in favor of it? But in case you're still skeptical, well, let's go to a differently worded poll, and that's from Pew Research Center. 60% of Americans say the government should be responsible for ensuring healthcare coverage for all Americans. Now that sounds like a government takeover, yet 60% of Americans, which is again a giant number, said goddamn right. Let's have the government run this thing because it isn't working this way and it's a disaster, and Obamacare is in reality half a loaf. So let's go get the whole loaf. By the way, that number was 60-38. That's a 22-point lead on an issue, even when you frame it as the government running all of healthcare. And of course they don't. They run healthcare coverage for Americans, which is different. Okay, that means they're replacing the middleman, the insurance agents, and the American people are in favor of it. When are you going to fight for things that are popular? And if you're thinking, wait a minute, shouldn't both parties be fighting for something that has overwhelming popularity in a democracy? Well, that's the problem. It ain't a democracy. The Republicans, of course, hate this because they work for their rich donors who just want more tax cuts. They work for their donors who are the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. But the Democrats, I mean, this is a layup. It's an absolute layup. What's holding you up? If you haven't figured it out by now, yes, it's the same donors. So obviously, the Democrats that I just read to you are on the right side of this and are pushing in the right direction. All the other Democrats, what's taking you so long? You think 64% popularity is not enough for you to put aside how scared you are, how miserably weak you are, to come out of the shadows and actually fight? You don't want to do it, not because of the framing, not because you don't have the American people on your side, not because it isn't the right policy, it's because your donors told you not to do it. Get real about it. Look, there's a petition from real fighters, and it's not just Justice Democrats, by the way. The nurses union and others have joined in as well, and they're all fighting along. So in this case, go to justicedemocrats.com/single-payer to see what this petition's about. And it's asking for something very, very simple. It's saying, hey, guys, get your act in motion and fight, fight, fight. Ask for Medicare for all, and it isn't that hard to ask for. It's a very simple ask. It is enormously popular. What more do you want? The right policy. Almost all other developed countries have it already. We're the unique case. We're the outlier. We're the radicals. It's something that's been done over and over again. It works, and the American people are in favor of it. What is it gonna take you? So I know some establishment Democrats got caught with their hand in the cookie jar on things like the drug reimportation bill, and then turned around and pretended to be co-sponsors of further legislation. Oh, y'all for drugs from Canada? They're the same exact drugs? Of course I meant I'm in favor of it. I mean, after I was caught taking all the money from the drug companies and voting with them. So guess what, establishment Democrats? You're about to get caught again. We can see who sponsors legislation and who doesn't. We can see co-sponsors, we can see people who vow to vote for it. We can see people who are fighting for it publicly. And we can see people who are hiding in a corner go, oh my God, don't sign that petition. Oh my God, it'll make the Republicans, my donors really angry. Medicare for all. If you can't fight for something that has 64% popularity and is the right idea, well then you can't fight for anything. So you might as well step aside and let real progressives run this show. We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazile story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. tytnetwork.com/join.